Okay. Hey class, how you doing today? Our next little assignment is called lifting, or a little technical exercise is called lifting. And what I'd like you to do for this exercise is get your flat brush. Okay, there's an example of a flat brush. Mine's kind of old and crusty. You got a brand new one in your kits. Like the name implies, it's flat. And what it does is it creates broad, flat washes across your paper. And it's an important skill to master. So we're actually kind of combining learning how to do flat washes with lifting. So what I'd like to do is have you take clear water and just kind of go across the paper like that. Just distribute some water. And I'm not putting much pressure. I'm letting the brush do the work. So I'm not putting much pressure down on the paper at all. Get your watercolor activated. Oh my. I've already goofed up today. I'm trying to use my acrylic paint, not my watercolor. So get your watercolor palette and get something like a blue paint, one of your blues, because I think the blue is a color that kind of demonstrates the whole concept of lifting rather well. That's from my other class. So get that paint wet. It's really beautiful stuff. And then just start applying it across the paper. And the idea is to try to get as even a wash as possible. Now again, don't scrub the paper. Okay, the idea is to let the brush do the work for you. And I'm just gonna go across the paper, bringing it down, overlapping my marks a bit. I'm gonna increase I want to create kind of a gradation here. So I'm going to throw a little bit more paint. One of the things you want to always do is try to work your paint into the bristles of your brush so you don't have like a big glob that's just going to sort of gunk things up and streak. So you put a little water in there. See, I'm just kind of distributing the pigment on there on the palette, and I'm going to try this. I want it to be a little bit darker towards the top. Yeah, that's better. Rinse my brush. I'm just going to use a rinsed brush and then squeegee. Another little tip is squeegee your brush out. Just kind of squeeze it. Get the water out of it, and then use that slightly drier brush to pull up the pigment a little bit to get it more even. So that's a gradated wash. Now, to explore the whole concept of lifting, I'd like you to grab one of your other brushes. This one would be your flat. And get it wet, squeegee out the water, and start trying to pull up pigment like that. You see how that kind of erases? It very nearly gets it right down to the dry paper. That's called lifting. And this is a very, very important technique to master. Now what I'm doing is, pigment gets kind of pulled into the brush, so you have to rinse it out, and then squeegee it a bit, and then pull. Or lift, I should say, sorry. So pigment's getting in there, squeegee it out, lift. Hey, those are sort of looking like clouds, aren't they? And you kind of have to go over them because the water backfills. So you just kind of keep working that surface, and there you have a lift.